There's something trending, especially on TikTok. You get to see a lot of them. The gay community and the lesbian community. I want to give an advice. An advice. No judgment. Nobody's judging. Because for every time you come across any gay post or any lesbian post, it's always about straight people judging gay.
Okay, so
That was murdered.
when sexuality is put on the front burner of the table, many people begin to question, especially when it's queer sexuality. But when heterosexuality has been shoved down our throats, shoved down our medulla oblongata, we see it publicly, we see it everywhere, nobody questions. This this statement comes from a video of a supposed sex educator and social media influencer, Blessing CEO, who educates people about sexual matters, who talks about having good and great sex in a relationship, and she claims she's giving an advice to LGBTQ persons. Now, she has stated in this video that the only thing the LGBTQ persons or the LGBTQ community post out, give out, transmit to the general public is sex. Is this true? Is this a lie? Viewers, let's watch this video and we'll be right back, and I'll give you my contribution and my thought concerning what Blessing CEO has just said.
There's something trending, especially on TikTok. You get to see a lot of them. The gay community and the lesbian community. I want to give an advice. An advice. No judgment. Nobody's judging. Because for every time you come across any gay post or any lesbian post, it's always about straight people judging gay people or judging lesbians. Now, let's get this straight. Whatever sexuality you decide to choose is your personal decision and it's supposed to be a private decision. I don't think anybody would have any business with your sexuality if you keep most of these things private. Why did I say so? Many people are giving us wrong impressions about gays and about lesbian. What you people put out there make it look as if the only thing you people have to offer is sex. You barely see most people who claim that they are gay selling something productive, selling something intellectual, selling something innovative. It's always about sex, sex, sex. So you people just make it look as if once you're gay, you are just going to be having sex in your relationship. You're just an object that people just use and probably have. You people just give a wrong impression. My point is, whatever sexuality you decide to be, it's not the public's business. The earlier people begin to understand that your private life is not public business, the better for you. Anything you decide to put publicly becomes a joke, becomes entertainment. If you decide to put your sexuality, your sex life, anything you put out here in the public is a joke. So whatever sexuality you choose to be, whether gay, lesbian, bisexual, nobody is here to judge you. But can you guys put out more? Let people see that there is more to your sexuality. That's just the impression most of you are giving. You people now make it look like when you are gay, you don't have sense, or when you are a lesbian, you don't have sense. Why do people feel so? It's because many of you don't put out things that are productive. It's always about sex, 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 sex. Every time you're selling one sexual. And I'm like, no, it shouldn't be that way. Because I know there are lots of people who have different sexualities, yet they are productive. They have brains. They have something else to offer. I see a lot of people who say they are gay, they are lesbian, they rant, people don't like me, the world hates me. They hate all of us. But it's what you people sell. Could you people sell something more productive? Could you interact more? Could you just leave your sexuality and give humanity something? Give the public something that they can learn, that they can pick from. It's not every time it's about, sex, 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 sex. It's becoming boring and tiring. You get to see all the shit on your timeline. Motivate somebody now.
Welcome back, viewers. I know you've watched those videos and you've heard everything that Blessing CEO has said. Now, first and foremost, Let's admit it. The LGBTQ community has been very sexualized. Why it has been sexualized and why it has been sexualized, nobody wants to talk about it. People talk about the end result. You've had a child. You've been molesting this child. You've been traumatizing this child. You've been beating this child. Now this child has grown up to be a full-blown terrorist or full-blown arroba or full-blown nonchalant child. Now you want to talk about how he's not matured enough, how he's not educated enough, he should have done better, but you have been the one that have been traumatizing this child. This is the fruit of your labor. What am I saying? The LGBT community has been persecuted. They have been arrested. They have been discriminated upon. If you see the lynching that most people go through, you will wonder if these are human beings or goats and cows that these people are treating. Even goats and cows in Nigeria are treated better. As in, even in Kita, bingo is more privileged than an LGBTQ person in Nigeria. And you expect that these people who have been traumatized, these people who have gone through hell of trauma, gone through hell of trying to accept themselves. In short, statistics says at least not even one, what am I saying? Statistics says 9 out of 10 queer persons are likely to commit suicide, especially if they are trans or cross-dressers. This is what statistics have told us. Even in America, where there is civilization, talk much about Nigeria, where there is no protection, where there is no love, where there is no right for LGBTQ persons. What do you expect them to do? There is no form of income, there is no access to healthcare, there is no access to loans, there is no access to entrepreneurship. The only entrepreneurship now they have is their body, because that is all they got. At the age of 18 or at the age of even 16, most queer persons have been kicked out of their home, homeless on the street, without a career, without an education. So I expect Blessing CEO to talk with sense. If you want to talk about queer people, talk with sense. Don't just talk half big story. I heard a lot of queer people say, oh, there's nothing wrong with what she said. There is absolutely everything wrong with what she said. How many queer people has she tried to help? How many queer persons has she educated? How many queer persons can she boast and say, I have trained this one through school, so I expect better from you that I've trained? How many queer persons has received scholarship to go through institution? So you don't just come out and begin to judge, because the first thing he says, I don't want to judge, I want to give an answer. But you bluntly judge, discriminated, and sexualize the LGBTQ community. So Blessing CEO, let me tell you, I don't know you, you don't know me. But from this video, it seems as if your IQ is very low. It seems as if your brain is washed. Because if you want to speak about a community, you will speak about a community with caution. You will come, you've seen TikTok, but have you also seen the bad sides, the black side, the secret sides of being queer, the cost of being queer in Nigeria? Let me ask you. So it's not about saying, oh, you are giving an advice. No, what you need to talk about is to talk about what we have gone through. When you talk about what we have gone through, or when you talk about the bad side, you also talk about what we have gone through as a community, what we have gone through as individuals. Let me ask, how many queer organizations, how many queer NGOs is Blessing CEO helping? How many have you financed? So you don't have the right to speak about a community you add nothing to, you contribute nothing to, you have nothing to, you don't have a right. Just as the same way, nobody go person house, go decorate their pikin when you know they pay their school fees, you know they feed them, you don't know their name. No, you don't do that. So Blessing CEO, next time when you want to advise queer people, I think you should first do your advice with help, love, tenderness. Then you can then talk about us or correcting us. Secondly, now correction. Everybody has a right to sexual promiscuity. They are straight strip clubs. In short, straight people have sex publicly. I remember one time when I was going to church, they used to complain that homosexuals were having sex at the back of the church, at the toilet of the church. They even had to say, please, stop having sex in the crusade, stop having sex in the church. But how many times did the Blessing CEO talk about that? How many times has you seen the society come to frown upon that? We've seen straight people twerk. We've seen, even now, Kelly is trending. A straight girl twerking on TikTok, but nobody is talking about it. But if it's a queer person, especially a gay person, now so our mouth go they run. That's how our mouth will be open. So blessing CEO and those who support blessing CEO, I think you should take advice from me. The next time you want to talk about the queer community, talk about our trauma. Talk about helping us fight this anti-gay law that has locked, depressed so many queer persons of colors. So, darling, we have more pressing things to talk about. LGBTQ community members, we've gone through a lot. We've gone through so many traumas, I understand. But at the same time, there is a truth. They say behind every smoke, there is actually, or behind every fire, there is a smoke, or behind every smoke, there is a fire. I don't know how they talk that one. But I think there is a truth to what she's saying. I'm not saying she's saying 100% lie. Yes, 80, maybe 70% of what Blessing CEO is saying is true. Our promiscuity, the only thing people think is that we don't have anything valuable. It's because when you people who have valuable things to do them, you people try to shut us. I know how many times they said, shut Q talk down. Q talk that is helping this community, you want me to shut it down. Stop posting. Even you and admin, you are blocking me from posting stories about queer people who have been beaten in queer community. If you join Facebook or WhatsApp group, if you go through any queer group, all you will see is pom 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 pom, sex 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 sex, dig 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 dig, nya 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 nya. Una no tire. Aren't you guys tired? Day and night. I'm looking for somebody to fuck me. I'm looking for somebody to hold me. I'm looking for somebody, yeah. And I waka, put you inside situation where you did. So I think say, make we too carry get sense more. Sorry, I'm speaking in pictures. Let us also have some senses. Because of us looking for hookup, we have put ourselves in a dangerous situation. So actually, what Blessing CEO is saying is true. There is an upturn of truth in what she's saying. But at the same time, LGBTQ community, my community, let's do better. Let's invest in education. Let's invest in reading. Let's invest in entrepreneurship. Let's invest in coming together to support each other. Let's invest in promoting. You that is watching, have you shared this Q talk? You've been watching, you've been a subscriber for how many months? For how many years? A year and we started, right? How many months? Have you for one day say, okay, you guys said something interesting. Let me share. Let me talk about Q talk. So we have a long way to go to when we talk about queer liberation, when we talk about queer civilization. Thank you for watching, and I remain Chimerize Henry. Peace out.